Hello again, Augsburg friends. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Bussho Lahn, and I'm talking to you today from Flying Cloud Zen practice community here in the Twin Cities. And today we're going to talk just a few minutes about newness and change, the transformation that a new year symbolically offers us. And I know that we're going to be sitting with the lyrics to our friend Sam Cooke's wonderful song, "A Change is Gonna Come," as part of our contemplation for a while. And what a beautiful, beautiful prayer, really, to sit with. In my adoptive tradition of Zen Buddhism, the core idea that human beings can change reality by evolving their consciousness, by changing themselves, and thereby the world, is central to this faith tradition that's been with us on this planet for about 2,500 years. There's a very core idea that we come back to over and over about the inevitability of change. We, in fact, are change, existing within change, but that we have agency. We have influence as self-aware humans into what direction that change can take. So we get a chance to not only notice what we can learn about ourselves in the world by what is and by what has come, but then to be able to engage with our reality in such a way that we know we are influencing it moving forward because of the inevitability of change. The historical person that we call the Buddha said, "Every morning we are born again. What we do today is what matters most. Just as a snake sheds its skin, we must shed our past over and over again. Because one moment can change a day, one day can change a life, and one life can change the world." You can kind of feel in that the hope of evolutionary change, right? Not just things getting different, becoming unlike how they currently are, but the possibility of that change being an upward spiral with our help. So we think, most of us do, I think, that we really accept change deeply, that we already accept the idea that things are different, going to be different, always going to be different. And yet we notice, especially when we do mindfulness practice, that we constantly leap into our imagined future and try to predict what we imagine it's going to be, right? We notice this a lot when we do meditation. Even as you're listening right now to me say this very sentence, it's fair to say that you probably do not know how it will umbrella, right? Change, even in stupid jokes, change surprises us, right? It is something that we don't find ourselves able or capable of predicting, right? It just shows up. And so within the soil of this inevitable change lies the seed of hope. And a change is going to come is all about the idea that, of course, things will be different, but that it takes this hope-oriented, generative, nourishing, optimistic, evolutionary flavor of things moving ever and ever toward greater and more. We can say toward spirit, we can say toward God, we can say toward our own loving human potential, right? So we make choices when we do mindfulness practice. We make choices when we sit meditation about where we want our attention to land where we want it to be anchored. And we notice when it wanders and what it wanders to. And the moment that we notice that we have wandered, we have this beautiful moment called a choice. Do I want it to stay with where it's wandered to? Is that a generative, aware, loving place? Or would I prefer to bring it back again to the home, the anchor that I've chosen for the day, right? My awareness of body, my awareness of breath, my awareness of emotions, whatever you've chosen. This moment of choice is the moment that contains that evolutionary choice. We get to start choosing. When we notice we're repeating thoughts, when we notice we're repeating emotional habits, when we notice we're repeating even behaviors that we don't find generative, that we don't find loving, that we found out of alignment with what we know we can be, through mindfulness, we get a decision-making point there, don't we? We actually have a moment of awareness where we can choose what seeds we wish to water. So as we are beginning a new year, as we are acknowledging that a change is going to come, and as we're all collectively wishing for that change to be evolutionary and loving, I'll remind us that hope is central to who we are as humans. And we must be careful about what we acknowledge as hope, right? Because what I don't personally experience is hope needing to be a particular story about the future. I experience hope perhaps more intimately as a state of mind or a state of heart, a way of relating. It's something much deeper in me than just a story or a predicted outcome, even a longed for outcome. It feels like a stance of the heart. I don't believe that hope has to be limited to the idea that things will go well. In particular, for me, it's more of an orientation of the human soul, right? That way, no one can take it away from me. No circumstance can take it away from me. Even the darkest of times, the compass of my heart can still be aligned in a direction, regardless of whether or not I feel hope as an emotion. That's lovely when that happens, but I think that's kind of optional. What it seems to me is that my job is to become hope, to actually be hope. I'm already change. I'm already transformation because I'm changing and changing and changing. Whether I participate joyfully and willingly or not, I am change, as you are, as this moment is, as everything is. But to become, to participate in hope, to be hope, to make a choice about the seeds that I water, right, in my own mind, in my own heart, that feels like an entirely different thing altogether. Now I know that my participation in an ever-changing universe is ultimately a growth-oriented, nourishing, loving one, because that's the way I'm treating my own experience. Wow, right? What power and yet what responsibility, right? We must be engaged beings. And as we start a new year together, as we embrace newness, as we embrace change together, recognizing that's what's happening, I think we need a place where we can feel that our contribution matters. And so I'm hoping that just being reminded, your thoughts matter. Your habits of emotion and behavior matter. And the ones that you cultivate and support ripple out into the world, just like the ones that you choose to not water, the habits you choose not to continue, right? Not adding those ripples matters too. We're profoundly influential beings. So I encourage you to continue to use your mindfulness practice to carry you out into your day, out into your interactions with your community, with your family, with your faith, so that we are always challenging ourselves to be that hope, to literally embody evolutionary change and growth. What a satisfying and brilliant way to embody our collective faith. It's always wonderful to be connected to Augsburg, and I'm grateful to be with you in this way, even though it's virtual. I thank you for your attention. May all of our practice going into this new year and all of our lives be deeply blessed. Thank you so much for your time today.